Hello and welcome to today's Sketch It video with me, Helen. As you can see from the little intro, I found a sketch on Instagram. It was a page maps and I thought it looked quite good, so I thought I'd give it a go. And here I am getting my photos organised. These photos are of my stash that I purchased whilst in England. I had that silly idea that I would go to England and travel and get up to all these adventures and not actually do any crafting at all. That lasted for about 2 weeks, and then I started purchasing scrapbooking supplies and mixed media supplies because I realised I needed it for stress relief. Teaching means that sometimes I come home and my head's full of school stuff and I just need to calm down, and I use my craft to do that. So it was fun purchasing all these supplies in England. Some of them I did have in Australia waiting for me, but I wanted to use certain inks and things then, so I went off and purchased doubles. Can never have too many inks as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, while I've been rambling on, you can see I'm getting my layout organised. I'm using papers from Chamel's Sparkle City range, chosen just for the colours, really to complement the colours in the photos. And I'm following the sketch fairly closely. I'm not measuring. I generally don't measure much. I might use things to straighten, a ruler to straighten that is, but I don't usually measure. And I'm just sticking as I'm going. You saw I gutted out that tealy coloured background paper because I like to matte the photos to coordinate with the outside cardstock colour, and as I only had one sheet, that's the best way of doing it. And I'm just layering up and going and sticking and not thinking too much about what I'm doing, as in I'm following the sketch and layering things exactly like it was on the sketch. I thought it was quite interesting that on the sketch was a little strip of paper with a little beaded banner, and I found this. It's one of the branding strips at the bottom of the pages that has the party lights on it, and I thought, oh well, that actually follows pretty closely to the sketch, and I'll use that bit. And here I'm deciding which little journaling spot I'm going to use. I also had to decide with the one that's underneath that border strip as well, but I've gone for more of the muted colours rather than adding in any more bright purples or reds. When I started this title, I realised I was starting it as I was going to say get your craft on, and then I went, no, that's silly. It's about my stuff, so it's going to be my craft on. So I'm using the little letter stickers that came out of the sticker packs that Chamel does with American Crafts. It comes in a little folder and little sheets of stickers, and they're little holographic ones in this range. I think that's the right word anyway. They're not rainbow colours like they appear, they're holographic ones. Now, interestingly enough, I only purchased these supplies when I was travelling around on my holidays, so maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But I'm actually needing to stick it down, or all these little letter stickers, with a little bit of glue, and when I get to adding the other stickers and embellishments as well, because I found that the glue has worn out already, which I think is quite surprising when it's not really that old, these supplies. But anyway, as you can see, I've pulled out some more stickers here, and I'm just randomly placing any kind of stickers that I think that can go. There's no real theme or category to these stickers. The balloons, I mean, it's a bit of a celebration, I suppose, because actually crafting, and I've got supplies, but a bit of some stars, and that's about it really. Now I have to admit, this is quite a simple layout for me. Usually I have a few more techniques involved or some mixed media involved, And as I'm finishing this one up, I'm thinking, is this actually, worthy of a video? Because I haven't really done anything other than just follow that sketch exactly. And I haven't really added my own twist to the page. So, in typical Helen fashion, I decided I needed to create another layout. And in a minute, I'll be going on to my second layout in this video. I'm just finishing off this one with a hand-drawn border. And I had done little dashes from the balloons, but then because I had the hand-drawn border, I realised I needed to put solid lines from those balloons, and that's the first one. As you can see, pretty straightforward copy of the sketch. So I decided I needed to change the sketch. But to link the two layouts, these are photos of some of the mixed media or art journal pages that I created while I was in England. So I thought, oh, it's only fitting I use the same sketch for these layouts that are related. But instead I decided I was going to turn the sketch. Now I've got this stencil, I've had this stencil for quite a while. It's a Donna Downey stencil, and I'm using some grunge paste here from Paper Artsy, which I did purchase in England. And this is going to create my patterned paper as such. Now I tried really hard to make that straight, and when I took the stencil off I realised that it is not straight on the cardstock. So later I spent a bit of time trying to look like I did get it straight on the cardstock with trimming. But I decided I wanted to have some colours or soft colour over this stenciling, and I'm just using some Distress Oxide and watering it down and adding it on. I didn't want this pink to be really in my face, so I've just dripped a little bit on, and then I'm using a baby wipe to to dab it around to make it nice and soft. And I did cut out all the stress I had trying to square up that piece of cardstock, but you can see I'm going to use it as that back layout. Now I decided I wanted to strip of the peacock feathers colour, and this is going to be the border strip across on the sketch. And since I didn't have a piece of paper that colour, I decided to make my own. Well, colour it, that is. And then I decided to sprinkle some water on it and just get that distress effect. However, I went a little bit too crazy and squirted a bit more water, and I wasn't happy really with that final look, so I went over it with this other colour, forgotten what it's called, pistachio, I think, cracked pistachio, and then got a piece of paper that I was happy with. I was originally planning to use that soft pink as my background piece of paper, but it just wasn't quite right, I didn't feel. So I swapped it out for this black and white checkered piece, and I like it because it makes the colours of the photo and that mixed media piece there stand out more. Well, that's what I felt anyway. So that's what I went with. And as you can see, I'm just positioning this with some double-sided tape, and then with that blue piece, once I'd got it in the spot I wanted, I just lifted it and taped half and half like this, just so it didn't move, and I knew I had it exactly in the spot that I wanted. Now, while sticking all this down, I was pondering, how am I going to embellish this? See those flowers in that second photo? I thought, let's use some of those. They're stamps that I purchased whilst in England. They're a Paper Artsy set, and I thought, that's what I'll do. So I'm using some Distress Oxide, as you can see here, in a water brush. I'm just flicking it from the centre of the photo. This way, how it finishes, where it ends, it's totally random. And as you can see, I've painted them all. It wasn't quite as deep as I wanted, so I'm just using a little bit, I think it's magenta Dina Wakley paint, just to darken up the centre of the flowers and that same flicking motion. Then I decided to colour in the butterflies, and I'm just using the cracked pistachio and the peacock feathers to colour them in. And then I needed to spend quite a while cutting them all out. A trick when you are fussy cutting, don't move your hands and your wrist, just move the paper. It makes it a smoother, easier, well I think easier to cut. And I also went into some of my Felicity Jane kits that I have to find, well that's where some of this paper came from actually, most of the patterned paper, to find the tag as the basis for that bottom cluster. And as you can see, I'm just fiddling around using some good glue to stick them down. And I decided that one that I needed it in cut in half. I do like those big scissors. It makes things easy to cut in half because I just get one straight cut. I think this layout also shows you the versatility of a sketch. I've turned the sketch, but as I've started embellishing, I'm not following the placement that's on the sketch exactly. I'm kind of using some of the ideas, but I'm going with what I'm happy with, how I think it all balances out. Anyway, in my Felicity Jane bits and pieces, I found that puffy word enjoy. There's some of these little leaves and little heart puffy stickers and that little label sticker just to finish off my little embellishment clusters. Then a bit of journaling, because the title is just going to be enjoy. I was going to go enjoy the process, enjoy the art, but I just thought, no, because that's why I did choose to craft in England, was because I do enjoy it. So, and that's about it. Oh, and then I thought, oh no, I need to do the centre of the flowers. And I found some enamel, liquid enamel, and just finished the centres off so they're nice and dark. And that's it. So, a little bit of a bonus video today, as in it's got 2 layouts. I hope you've enjoyed at least one of them, and I hope you've stuck with me until this end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you later.